crazy. Get crazy in Jesus, yeah. When heaven comes down, it gets a little wild, gets a little crazy. Heaven comes down, it gets a little wild, it gets a little crazy. Just the drums. Heaven comes down, when heaven comes down, it gets a little wild, it gets a little crazy. When heaven comes down, when heaven comes down, it gets a little wild, it gets a little crazy. When heaven comes down, when heaven comes down, it gets a little wild, it gets a little crazy. When heaven comes down, when heaven comes down, it gets a little wild, it gets a little crazy. Let heaven come down, Lord. When heaven comes down, it gets a little wild, it gets a little crazy. When heaven comes down, when heaven comes down, it gets a little wild, it gets a little crazy. When heaven comes down, when heaven comes down, it gets a little wild, it gets a little crazy. It gets a little crazy. When heaven comes down, when heaven comes down, it gets a little wild, it gets a little crazy. When heaven comes down, when heaven comes down, it gets a little wild, it gets a little crazy. It gets a little crazy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ah! When heaven comes down, when heaven comes down, it gets a little wild, it gets a little crazy. When heaven comes down, when heaven comes down, it gets a little wild, it gets a little crazy. Gets a little crazy. Gets a little wild, gets a little crazy. Gets a little wild, it gets a little crazy. We want to be wild for you, Jesus. When heaven comes down, when heaven comes down, it gets a little wild, it gets a little crazy. When heaven comes down, when heaven comes down, it gets a little wild, it gets a little crazy. We want to be crazy for you, Lord. When heaven comes down, when heaven comes down, it gets a little wild, it gets a little crazy. When heaven comes, it gets a little crazy. When heaven comes, it gets a little crazy. Yeah. When heaven comes, it gets a little wild. When heaven comes, it gets a little crazy. Yeah. When heaven comes down, when heaven comes down, it gets a little wild, it gets a little crazy. When heaven comes down, when heaven comes down, it gets a little wild, it gets a little crazy. Oh! When heaven comes down, when heaven comes down, it gets a little wild, it gets a little crazy. When heaven comes down, when heaven comes down, it gets a little wild, it gets a little crazy.
Okay, it gets a little crazy in here, you all.
Thank you for your love, Jesus. It's like no other. Your love is so pure. Your love is so beautiful. Your love is so sweet. Your love is so powerful. Yeah. And your love is so strong. Your love is so gentle. Your love is so kind. Your love is so powerful. It's a crazy love. It's a wonderful love. It's a love like no other. It's a crazy made just for love. You were made to love Jesus. You were made for love. I was made for loving you. I was made for loving you. I was made for loving you. Just loving you. That's what I was born to do. That's what I'm born to do. Just to be laid down loving. It's a love like no other. It's a love like no other. 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 Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. There's no other love like the love of a father. It's crazy. Woo! It's a crazy love. It's a crazy love. It's a wonderful love. It's a love like no other. It's a crazy love, a wonderful love. It's a love like no other. Yeah. It's like no other you've ever known. It's so pure. It's so beautiful. It's so sweet. It's so powerful. It's so strong. It's so gentle. It's so kind. It's so powerful. It's a crazy love. It's a wonderful love. It's a love like no other. It's a crazy love, a wonderful love. It's a love like no other. I was made for love. I was made for love.
If you think about the word made, M-A-D-E, you know, if you want to make something really exceptional, you really give a lot of thought to it. It's not like just thrown together and ship-shod, and I don't know if that's the right word, you know, but there's an excellence and there's a quality and there's an intent and there's a purpose. You know, when you make something, you have to think about what it is and what the end result is and what you want to produce and what you want to send forth. You have to think about it. And you have to put your heart into it. And then you put your hands into it. So if you think about it, God thought about you, and he put his thought into it. He put his heart into it. Yes, he did. And he said, it's good. And then he said, he took another look at what he thought about making and what he put his hands to and what he put his heart to. And he says, it is very good. So sisters, and I know there's some brothers up in the house, do you really want to disagree with the Creator who is so excellent in all that he does? Do you really want to come into agreement with the old stinking poopy-headed liar? Because that's a bad idea. So let's come into agreement with Papa God, who put so much thought into you. And he just didn't even think about you for this time. He thought about you throughout all of time. He thought about you before time. He thought about you ahead of time. And he thought about 1,000 generations after your time. Do you understand what I'm saying? And when he made you for love. Now, what is this love? No, I beg to differ. Who is love? It says that God is love. So eat that up and take that in and take it to the bank because it'll cash real good. And you'll get so many benefits from that reality because you were made for love. Not only that, these words aren't in the song, but guess what? He's made you glad. Yeah. So I just want to say that it is a crazy love. It's a radical love. It's an intentional love. And God is so intentional, but he's so intimate. So if it matters to you, it matters to him. Because see, when he made you, he put his desires all up into your DNA and stuff. And he did it for generation to generation to generation so that his name would be made a praise in the earth. So I just bless all of you guys, all of us, because we were made for love. We were made for God who is love. We were made to receive the love. We were made to give the love. We were made for love. We were made to reproduce the love. Amen?
So if everybody can give your sister a hug and give each other some love. And since we have men that are in our conference, all you men give each other some love. And everybody please transition back to your seats.